Are you questioning if vision boards actually work? Or maybe you've used vision boards and they just haven't seemed to work out for you. I'm going to show you my process on how I'm able to manifest pretty much every single thing on my vision board every single year for the past 3 years. So how I come up with goals, how I make those come true, what steps I go through to keep myself accountable. I'm going to share that all with you today. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Torie, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. I'm so excited to talk about this. I love helping people with their vision boards. It's so fun for me. And as you guys know, I love making my own vision boards. So I'm going to just talk about my process, some of the things that I have manifested in the past, just to kind of show you guys that I've done a thing or two. Is a 2023 Ford Bronco, a new house, beautiful house, like 3-bedroom, all the things we need, a new job, some pets, some money when we needed it, concerts and events and things that I really wanted to go to, and so much more, like relationship, the goal that I was shooting for with that, friendships, things like that. So I'm so excited to talk about this with you guys. I made an old episode where I really talked about my vision board, but I think it's good to update it, especially with the new year right around the corner. It's gonna be here before you know it. I feel like Christmas has really snuck up on us, and like what comes right after Christmas, New Year's. So it's good to get this out of the way so that you guys can start planning, especially if you're already on break for the rest of the year. I know some people are, some people work, whatever it may be, I'm happy to help you out. So I'm going to break it down into a 4-step process, and then I'm going to talk about the 4 steps in detail. I think that that's pretty much it for the intro. Before I jump in, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, whatever the word is on the platform you are listening or watching on. If you're on YouTube, I'm trying to hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so don't forget to follow, and if you do, don't forget to comment #GalWithGoals. Join the community. We are a group of women who are working to become the best version of ourselves. Thank you so much on Apple and Spotify. I just hit my goals on the same day, actually, on there for the year, so I love you guys so much. I love you guys on YouTube as well, but let's hit that goal of 1,000. That'd be so cool, so fun, and a great way to start 2025. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and jump on into the episode. I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Okay, so the 4 steps for creating a vision board that actually comes true, that I made up, are 1, plan, 2, prep, 3, create, and 4, follow through. So let's talk about plan. This is the brainstorming section. Basically, you're asking yourself, what are your plans for the new year? What goals do you have for the new year? I try to limit goals to like 4 or 5 overall big goals, and then I create smaller goals that go within those. So the 4 to 5 areas I feel like I most often create goals in are career/finances, my relationship, my health, my friends and family, and then big milestones like a new car or a new house or things like that. So you can have whatever 4 to 5 overarching goals that work best for you, or you can do more than that. That's just typically what I do. And then, like I said, I break those down so that I'm able to create smaller micro goals within each one. So for example, for career finances, it could be, I want to make X amount of money this year, or for relationship, maybe it's I want to move in together, I want to get engaged, whatever it is for you. Those are what I do with each one. So you can have as many goals as you want. I just try to do that so that I kind of have an idea of what's going on and have a layout. But yeah, especially for my yearly vision board, I don't break it down as much. Like I try to minimize a bit more with my monthly ones, but with my yearly one, I go all out, and however many you have, do whatever you're feeling. If you have a ton, do that. If you don't have a ton, don't do a bunch. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. When it comes to them, make sure that your goals are challenging, but they're also not completely unattainable. So I usually do things that I know could happen in the next 2 or 3 years, and then maybe I'll throw in 1 or 2 fun ones that could happen in the next 5 years. But I know that if I work hard and challenge myself, I'll probably be able to make those 2 or 3 year ones happen within a year. And you want it to be like a vision board. Like you want it to actually be things that like you see happening that may not happen in a year. Like you want to challenge yourself and make yourself push to work hard. Like if you're doing things that you know are going to happen in the next year, that's kind of cheating. So you want to do things that are going to be hard, but you also don't want to do things that are like not likely to happen. Like if you're like, oh, this could happen in the next 10 years, then maybe don't put that on your vision board, and you can do like a 5-year plan for that. But yeah, I like it to be something within like the next 2 to 3 years. It's important to know that these goals are ones that you want and not ones that everybody else wants for you. So maybe your parents want you to have a specific job, but you want to have a different job. Do the job that you want. Don't do the job that they want. You need to get honest with yourself and be super authentic and not just like be a people pleaser. I know I am a people pleaser myself. I am recovering. I have quite a few podcast episodes about that. But you want to do what's true for you and what you actually want. Because if it's not what you want, you're really probably not going to work on it and you're not going to be excited about it. And if it comes true, it's going to be like begrudgingly, and it's not going to be what you actually want for yourself. So make sure that the goals you have are what you want in your wildest dreams and not anybody else's dreams for you. Once you kind of have an idea of these goals, write them down. So I like to write them down into like columns, and then I'll break down these columns with the top of the columns being like the overarching goals. So for career and finances, I'll write that at the top and then break that column down and write the smaller goals underneath it. And I'll do that for all 5 areas. But make sure you are writing it down, because writing it down just solidifies it and makes it more ingrained within you. And I don't know, it just does something. It does something to your brain, man. I don't know what to tell you. And you also want to be able to look back on it and know what you wrote, because a year from now you're not going to be like, this picture, I think this picture means this, but it could mean something totally different. So make sure that you're writing it down, and you are, doing all that, and you're reflecting on it, you're changing what needs to be changed. Maybe you're like iffy about one. Just make this a whole process. This is your whole plan step, so take your time, do what you need to do, and there's no rules when it comes to this. It's really just you and your own goals for yourself. Like that's it. Once you get this done and you know what your goals are, it's time to prep. So you're going to be finding pictures to add to your vision board. I usually end with between 250 and 300 pictures by the time I'm done with prepping for my yearly vision boards. But you can do as many as you want. You can do more, you can do less. I've just found that 250 to 300 is the happy medium for me, especially with putting it on like my laptop background and things like that. I like to have a large amount so that I kind of encompass everything that I'm working towards, but totally up to you. My process for finding pictures is I create a Pinterest board. This one would be called 2025, obviously. And then I store them while I'm collecting. I use Pinterest for all of my pictures for vision boards, but if there's like a specific picture that you really like that's not on there, that's on an Instagram picture, or like you saw it somewhere else, feel free to use that for sure. Like, you don't have to just do Pinterest. That's just what I like to do. Apparently there is also a new-ish thing on Pinterest where you can like save a picture directly to a collage and create a collage on Pinterest. I haven't tried it, but definitely you can try that and save it to that instead. I haven't tried it, don't know much about it. If you know a lot about it, definitely let me know if you're on Spotify or YouTube and you're able to comment. But yeah, I just save it on the board for the time being. My process for finding photos is I review my list, and I'm going to go through each goal one at a time, adding as many photos as I feel like. Like I said, really don't limit myself. I try to do as many as I'm feeling. So I may have like 10 or 20 for a career, and that's totally fine. But I try to keep an even amount of every single one. So I try to do like 5 of one goal and 5 of the next goal and 5 of the next goal, and do that all the way through so that it is an even amount of everything, and it's not just like all one goal and then none of the rest. So I do try to keep it even, but however many I find, I like it to be around the same number. One thing I want to say is don't forget to add motivational quotes. Those are possibly one of the most important factors. I review them whenever I look at my vision board. I read the motivational quotes, and they really help me when I'm feeling down or when I'm feeling like my vision board isn't going to come true. And I tend to get really in my head, so when I read the quote, it really does make me feel so much better. If you're someone who is inspired by quotes, I definitely would recommend adding more. I'm assuming you are if you are creating a vision board, so definitely do that. And that's pretty much it for prep. You're just finding pictures and adding them to a Pinterest board. So not too much going behind it. Those are just my tips, and I'm trying to be very granular about how I do it. So 250 to 300 photos at the end with an even-ish amount for each goal. Number 3 in the process is creating. So you're actually going to be creating the vision board. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to download all of the photos onto your device. I usually do my phone, and that's how you're going to create the vision board. I like to do it on Canva, like I mentioned. I think I mentioned that. So I'll upload everything onto Canva, and then I'll switch over to my laptop to create the actual Canva board because I have more space on there. But you can use Pixar, you can use any app that you feel works best. Like I said, you could try the Pinterest portion. I just haven't done it yet. This process usually takes the longest for me because I want everything to be specific. You're adding all these pictures, you're trying to put them in the right place. You don't want to put too many that are the exact same goal right next to each other. You want it to be spread out. So that's what we're doing. We're getting creative with it. I will try and do it for the sizing for my laptop screen, so my laptop background. And that way, when I do it like that, I can also screenshot like 2 sections of it. And then one section will be my home screen on my phone, and another section will be the lock screen on my phone. So if you want to do like a separate one for your phone, you can do that. But I feel like that's a lot of pictures for a phone, even though that's like a good amount for a laptop background because the background's so much bigger. So yeah, that's how I do it. I try and do like 1/3 of the laptop screen for one phone screen. So I guess that would be 1/3 of the amount of pictures. So like 100 pictures, 75 to 100 pictures for a phone screen. So you can create a different one, you can screenshot it, whatever is easiest for you. But that's what I do. Just do any size that works best for you so that you're able to see it daily. Maybe you're old school and you like to print all of the pictures out and put them on a board and then physically hang that. I've tried that too. You can also create the board and then just print out that. But whatever is going to be easiest for you so that you're going to see it daily and you're going to be able to check it out and it's not just like hidden. Sometimes I'll just scroll through my Pinterest board, but I want to be able to see it and it to be accessible, so that's why you want to do something you're actually going to see. So now we have the 4th step. This is going way faster than I thought it would. If I leave anything out or you have anything that you have like questions on, definitely reach out to me. Instagram DMs is the best way to, or you can comment down below. But yeah, I'm trying to do everything that I remember about it in here. So anyway, 4th step is going to be follow through. This is really important. I think this is the most important step when it comes to making sure that your vision board is going to come true because you're holding yourself accountable. So like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is put it as my screen where I'm going to see it daily. But the caveat to that is don't kind of lose motivation because you get used to seeing it every day and you're just like, oh, it's just another thing. Like, you know how when you see something enough times, it kind of loses its like vibes, feeling, spark? That is what you don't want to happen. So it's important to see it, maybe focus on a different picture every time, and then just like take a deep breath, reflect on it. Just take like 1 second to be like, what have I done to make this come true today? Have I done anything? And it's okay to not focus on every single goal every single day. Like maybe one day you're really career heavy, the next day you're really friendship heavy. That's normal. We like balance. But you want to make sure that you are still keeping it at top of mind. So you are just like immersing yourself and your brain and your subconscious with these goals. So yeah, take like 1 or 2 seconds. It doesn't have to be anything crazy to just reflect on it every time you see it. And then I mentioned this slightly earlier, but you are also, or what I do and I highly recommend doing, is making monthly vision boards to make sure that you stay on task. So what I do for these monthly vision boards, it's a little different. I focus on 4 to 5 micro goals that I'm going to be working on that month. So for example, I started a new job in December. So my December board was really career minded, but it was also very holiday heavy and doing things with family for the holidays and ending out the year and slowing down to make time for friends and family and events. So my December board looked really, really different versus like my April board, which is my birthday, and it's also getting nice outside, so I like to go like hiking and spend more time outdoors and doing those kinds of things. So my health was more top of mind in April, and as well as like spending time with friends and family for my birthday. And then like maybe June was very like health and career heavy. Like things are going to be different based on where you're at in your year. So you may not hit big goals for every single thing on your list every single month, but you need to make sure that you're hitting them at some point and you're kind of rotating those out and you're spending time working on everything throughout the year. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm overcomplicating this, but basically you're just going to pick 4 to 5 goals, and you're not going to do a crazy 300 picture board this time. I usually do between 30 to 70 photos, and also I'm going to create a vision board for this one, so it just says like January 2025 or something like that. And that's what that vision board is. And I'm not going to make this my home screen. I'm not going to make this my lock screen. I'm not going to make this my screen at all. What I'm going to do with this one is, you know this if you follow my podcast, but every single month I make like a video that just goes through all the pictures of my vision board, and I post it to all of my podcast accounts. So you'll be able to see that whenever. If you want to see my December one, you can watch it at any time. It's on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But I do that, and I also check out my board on Pinterest. While I'm doing that, I'm writing out goals to follow through with and journaling on how I'm going to make that happen. But from a vision board standpoint, that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing 12 monthly vision boards that are smaller. It usually takes me like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do this, so it's not like a huge thing, whereas the yearly one probably takes me like 2 to 3 hours, but then I'm also making that yearly one. So 13 boards in total, and this is a process I've used for 3 years. And every single year, I'd say 80 to 90% of my vision board has come true, with the other 10 to 20% being things that maybe I didn't want to come true anymore, like it wasn't a goal for me anymore, or it's something that I know is going to happen in the next year, or I'm really close to it, but like rules are rules. If it didn't get done in that year, it didn't get done. So I'd say that's a pretty good success rate. I think that the most important thing is to be true to yourself and have fun with it. It should be like a really fun, lighthearted process. You're not like grueling over this. It truly is like a simple, fun thing. So get a fun drink. Maybe that's a hot chocolate. Maybe that's something a little bit more spicy. And then watch a movie and journal to get your list going, and then just go on Pinterest. Like, it's not meant to be crazy. I would do this by yourself or with friends, but like, do it with the girls. You know, this isn't like a do it with the mans, unless you guys are very into that. But I feel like when it comes to like me, my career and stuff is very independent from Josh's, and we do our own thing, and then we just kind of come together at the end of the day and be like, that was so awesome. But yeah, so I do things independent when it comes to my goals, because like I said, I don't want to do a goal because everybody else wants it for me, and I don't want it for myself, so I do a lot of reflecting. So that's why I spend a lot of time alone when I'm doing this. But yeah, I feel like doing it with the girls is a fun activity. I've seen a lot of people doing activities for like vision boards at the end of the year where they have like a girls' night, and that's super awesome too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. However you do it, whoever you do it with, those are my steps. You can do as many or little of them as you want and make it your own, but that is how I make my vision board come true every year. So I'm really excited for 2025. I feel like this year is going to be a good year for like a lot of things coming to fruition that I've been working on for a long time. So I'm really, really excited about that. Go ahead, and if you are on a platform where you can comment down below what your biggest goal is for 2025. I would say at this point, mine would be like financials, and just getting financials straightened out and being like in a place in my career where I'm confident and have like good finances and I love what I do. So that's what 2025 is going to have a lot of focus on for me personally. But what is your biggest goal? I love you guys so much. I have been uploading every single Sunday. I want to get back to Wednesdays and Sundays soon. I just have to get settled with everything going on. I know I've said that before, so I'm not going to make any promises on when, but it is top of mind for 2025. It's one of my big goals. So yeah, I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a great week. Bye, guys.
You was the first